Welcome everyone. In this video, we are in the Great League showcasing another very powerful team featuring Steelix. Steelix on a team, a slightly modified version of my legend team from last season. Last season I ran Medi, but Medi has seen better days. Steelix will be on the lead. And in for Medi is Poliwrath, about as good as it gets in both the Great League and the Ultra League. Easily one of my favorite Pokemon for both of those leagues for some very obvious reasons. This thing is amazing in the middle. And Basti rounding out the team in the back. My crusade against the Dragons in the Great League continues with this very powerful team that is very, very effective at shutting down dragons. Steelix may have been severely nerfed for Season 17, but one thing it is still very good at is shutting down dragons, like what we saw there on the lead. Had a Dragonair lead. They safe swap a Lantern. Very interesting safe swap here. And we're actually just going to stay in here. That's the beauty of being ABA strong into a dragon is we've got that added layer coming in the form of Basti in the back. So Steelix is actually the best answer on this team to a Lantern. We do shield the first Surf and gonna let the second one go. As we can see, we survived that no problem. Gonna go for another breaking swipe here on our first breaking swipe. We actually decided to threaten an Earthquake, but they were happy to let an Earthquake go and get one shot. But we're just going to continue to go breaking swipe here from here on out. They're not looking to shield anything, and down goes the Lantern. That's an obstacle out of the way for our Poliwrath in the back, and they've got a Mudboy lurking. So Dragonair is their first and only line of defense against a potential grass type in the meta, sort of ABB style, and Steelix is absolutely doing some Steelix things here. Holy smokes, now drawing shields. We've already taken out one, and we've got another down below 50% health. That is the power of Steelix. Still strong despite the nerf in Season 17. You love to see it. And in comes our Poliwrath onto this Mudboy here. Just going to absorb all the damage. They pivot back into the Dragonair, and it is time for Basti to feast upon this dragon right here. I'm telling you guys, with all the... It is Dragon Mania in the Great League. They are literally everywhere, so there is no better time to run two very strong steel types such as Bastiodon and Steelix to address the dragons and maybe collect some nice precious freelo on the way. Not only do you get to have fun having some satisfying alignments on these dragons, but you can collect some freelo while you're at it. Sounds like a good idea to me. We are going to absorb this Aqua Tail as if it's nothing, farm down that dragon, leave with a move, although resisted. It'll do enough to just about get the job done. One counter does the trick. Down goes the Mudboy. We are left standing, which means that we win. Good game to them. Coming into Season 17, I had zero intentions of running my legend team from last season, but all these dragons prompted this decision right here, and I did not regret it. Here we go, a Mudboy though. This is a challenging core breaker to this team, quite obvious. But let's see what Steelix can do here. Our debuffs are no longer guaranteed, which obviously makes this a lot more challenging, and they get a very unfortunate attack drop on us. Let's see if we can return the favor. We do, and we even up the shielding scenario. Now we're going to throw with suboptimal timing. I don't generally recommend it, but I want to get this damage off and put the pressure on before they can hit us with another move, and we get a second very clutch attack drop. We should now easily survive a massively super effective Scald. We do, and we're going to try and get that next breaking swipe. We just can't get there, but holy smokes, Steelix nearly took out a Mudboy and grabbed both of the shields. What more could you ask for? We're now going to put Poly on this. My goal in that matchup was to get the Whiscash within a manageable range, just in case it were to find its way to our Basti, we would be able to handle it, and Steelix did that job, plus more, got the shield advantage. We absorb all that, and they had a dragon lurking. I'm telling you, if you have a dragon on your team and you find yourself against this one, your odds of winning are severely diminished. We hit them with a debuffed Icy Wind. It does tremendous damage. Didn't really need it. And now I'm reading that Basti will sweep because they often always have a Scarm in the back, which we see there. It had zero shot of doing anything, so they save everyone some time. They top left. Good game to them. I swear, guys, I thought this team was retired, but my goodness, everyone's running these dragons. They're practically begging me to bust out this Steelix yet again, but here we go. Another Mudboy Lead. Let's see what we can do here. The Mudboy Lead's always challenging, but the Dragon Tails from Shadow Steelix absolutely chunk. We're going to shield up the first Hydro Cannon from the Swampert and try our luck on a Breaking Swipe debuff here. They shield that, and we get the debuff. That was amazing. Now we should very comfortably tank a Hydro Cannon from the Swampert here. It's not a Shadow. We should tank this with the debuff, and we do. So that is brilliant. Gonna throw another Breaking Swipe. Not on alignment. Again, I sort of bend the rules with Steelix just to get that pressure off, and it often pays more often than not. Yeah, I don't generally bend that rule. That's a very powerful rule to break, but Steelix, I do make the exception for more than any Pokemon, I would say. They make a very clutch catch onto a Reggie, and they did bank an Earthquake, so we have to play with that in mind. That makes this matchup less straightforward. Brilliant gameplay by them. And I debated no shielding this, hoping that perhaps I could farm down with Basti, resisted farm down, but I didn't want to try my luck on that. We give up the last shield, which means that Basti will undoubtedly have to tank a double super effective Earthquake from that Swampert that is still hanging on by a thread. They have a Mantine here, and we are debuffed courtesy of their Zap Cannon. We will still survive a Aerial Ace, and of course we did debuff that Mantine. We're gonna rip off the Band-Aid. Let her rip, Swampert. I know it's coming, but I also know that you're not a Shadow, so we will survive this, and we will get a resisted farm down. We do survive, and that Mantine can't do anything, guys. It is still super healthy, but Basti just does not care. Throw whatever you want, Mantine. This should just be an Aerial Ace. It is. That is double resisted, and we are hitting this Stone Edge, and that will be just about all she wrote from a very challenging team for this one. We say bye-bye to the Mantine, courtesy of Bastiodon. So, Mudboys, don't worry about it. They're not a problem if you know what you're doing. Good game to them. Gosh, with so many dragons plaguing the Great League meta, your odds of winning with this team shoot through the roof, but not with a lead like this. Holy smokes. This thing is back! I thought we were done with this thing. My goodness, I had not been seeing a Lowland Sandslash all season, but the second I bust out this team, it's back. Holy smokes. It is. That's what happens when there is rampant dragon abuse. These things are back now. I'm going to try my best here. I don't know what the best way to play that lead is. I think it's to build to Earthquake and just double bait with Breaking Swipe to have any hopes. But I break the rule with this team. You're not supposed to be safe swapping, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I wanted to draw out the inevitable Azumarill in the back. So the Azu A/Core was everywhere last season. It had fallen off the map this season. So I thought we were safe with this team, but no, it is coming back due to all the dragons. So I wanted to bait that out and put Basti on it. Our only hope is that they're not running Hydro Pump, and they're generally not. And if they're not, this matchup is exponentially better, if you can imagine. So here's the moment of truth. They are not running Hydro Pump, so they're forced to go for only resisted charge moves. The bubble buff with Season 17 doesn't seem to be too much of a factor in this matchup. And yeah, we're just going to let all this go. Now, as for the third, classically it's with Medicham. So if it is a Medicham, it's game over. But if it's a Sableye, which we can also see, and it doesn't look like there's a Medicham, they would have certainly brought it in knowing that the Poliwrath is off of the table. That means that there is likely a Sableye lurking in the back. That's been the more favorable third option, especially with the severe and extreme nerf to Medicham. I'm sure there's a Sableye in the back, and I know we can do quite all right with both of these two remaining. It's not a Sableye, it's another stinking dragon. Holy smokes. Get that dragon off of my screen. I'm telling you, if you have a dragon on your team, you're not winning against this one. So, yeah, good game to them. Oh man, there's nothing more satisfying than having Steelix locked onto a dragon. I'm telling you, it is perfection. Like what we saw there, another Dragonair lead you love to see. They safe swap a Sandslash, hello? You never, ever safe swap a Sandslash, ever. Same goes for Basti. You never safe swap a Basti. A general rule of thumb is to not safe swap a Pokemon that has a double weakness. So like A-Slash, double weak to fighting. Swampert, double weak to grass. Basti, same, double weak to fighting. Do not safe swap those types of Pokemon, guys. For reasons like that, you just get deleted and you put yourself in a very bad spot. But let's be honest, they were already in a bad spot because they made the choice to run a dragon, prompting me to run the best dragon, the king of the dragons, if you will, known as Steelix. I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek. Obviously, it's not a dragon. Definitely a pseudo-dragon, I would say, and an excellent answer to technical real dragons in the Great League. But I digress. They've got a Poliwrath in the back. This just got a little bit more interesting. But we are still holding on to 2 shields, and we get a very clutch attack drop courtesy of our breaking swipe. Gonna shield this. It is definitely worth the shield. We've got to get more damage in on this Poliwrath here. My goal is to get it within the red. That's the goal on Mudboys and Poliwrath. Get it low enough to where Bastiodon can handle it if it came down to it. It is now in the red. Mission accomplished. And we get another very clutch attack drop while on our way out. So, gonna shield this potential Scald here and try and go for a resisted farm down. That's the play. Actually, shields are down. We can actually go for a charge move as well. A catch is in play, but one more smackdown will take this thing out. This thing is double debuffed. That's not gonna KO. They make the catch. That is absolutely fine onto this Dragonair. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish here. Yeah, trainer, you can have that clutch catch, but we'll collect this W and move on to the next one. Good game. Well played to them. Very nice catch by them. Oh my gosh. I was just having the time of my life with this team here, but not with an Azu lead. Azu's going to be the toughest lead. Azu and A-Slash, and we can throw Poliwrath in there. Those are going to be the toughest leads to overcome. We're certainly going to try our best here and just go straight for the Earthquake. It's basically free damage. They get very comfortable and they let it go. And they do. Does considerable damage to a Pokemon as bulky as Azumarill, and we're going to let this go. So with this team, it's an ABA style, so you don't swap out. I know we saw... I know it's hard to justify, but I know I safe swapped out on that A-Slash, but you don't want to be swapping out with this team. You want to just either win lead or soft lose lead and look to realign. That is the textbook way to play this team and how you should be playing it 99.9999% of the time. And there's no reason for them to stay in and throw a move unless they have a Hydro Pump, so we did successfully shield that. And I thought that they were off by 1 bubble. I did want to catch the next Hydro Pump onto Poliwrath, but we were slightly off on our counts, and we're just going to look to get rid of this with a Stone Edge here. And hope like heck that we have some play in the back. They've got a Clodsire, holy smokes, my goodness, and a Talon. 3 Steelix answers, what is going on? It's not, holy smokes, you would think Steelix was running rampant all over the place. I thought I was the only one running it, but my goodness. The way this trainer has prepped for a potential Steelix is absolutely, I'm in awe. I'm actually, I'm not even mad, my goodness. So yeah, this is not going to go our way. Quite clearly, they've got 3 Steelix answers, and we had a Steelix, so that sort of works against us, guys. It's kind of like if you have a dragon against this team, you're not winning, but if you have a Steelix against that one, you're not winning, and we top left, guys. We save everyone some time and move on. Good game to them. Oh, man, what an impossible team. I think we got the impossible one out of the way. Let's see what we can do here moving on. We've got Licky here. They safe swap a Claude. And in the moment, I elect to meet this with Poliwrath, which is not a very bad decision. Although, I will say, I know another content creator put out a Dragon double ground line, with Dragonair, Clodsire, and Swampert in the back. If it's a Dragonair and they safe swap the Clod, I think you'll want to stay in with Steelix and try and get the Clod within a manageable health range, because there's likely a Swampert in the back. And you would want the Poliwrath for the Swampert, of course. And of course you have Basti for the Dragon. So we do get the attack drop on the super effective Scald, which means that we can comfortably tank both an Earthquake and a Sludge Bomb from this thing and leave this matchup with a move. Not expecting a shield here, and they do let that go and hang on to the shield advantage. We go for the Icy Wind on the Licky Tongue just to sort of plant that seed and maybe force them to swap when we come back in with Steelix. I'm not sure what else could be in the back. I'm really hoping it's not a double ground line. It's not. It's a Venusaur, so that is brilliant. We have a slight energy lead on this Venusaur, and we are going to try and get off a debuff so that we can survive a Frenzy Plant. This is not a Shadow, so it'll be a lot nicer tanking a Frenzy Plant. But I do still want to take a little bit of the sting off of it here. Steelix has to put in a little bit of work. We've got the Basti for that Licky. If we can grab this last shield, that makes the Basti-Licky matchup even better. And we do. That is brilliant. And we get the attack drop. That's what we really needed. Oh, we needed that really bad. So we do survive this, and just going to throw with suboptimal timing just to get rid of the Venusaur. It's definitely within Shadow breaking swipe range. Down goes the Venusaur, and now it is smooth sailing from here. Basti performs beautifully against Licky in the zeros. Our opponent knows that. They do exit stage left. That's going to be yet another good game. So as you can see, guys, even if they don't have a dragon on their team, this team still puts in the work. And here we go. But this one does. You love to see it if you run this team. They safe swap a Vig, and we are going to put our Poliwrath on this Vigoroth, of course. I'm a little concerned that there could be a Mudboy in the back. I have also seen it with Skarmory. Obviously, Skarmory would be the best option, but if you don't get the Steelix alignment on the Dragon, and they do have a Mudboy, Steelix is going to be the next best answer after Poliwrath, of course. But yeah, we're forced to put Poly on this Vig here. Going to no-bubble this and look to farm down and get close to an Icy Wind. Ideally, you want to not have to do that, throw that Icy Wind, but I was, again, slightly off on the counts there a little bit, but that is okay. We're going to throw this Icy Wind and get the shield right back from the Dragonair and put Steelix on the Dragonair here. They're going to throw a move. They've been debuffed, so we're going to let this Aqua Tail go. It doesn't have stab. Still does quite a bit, but we survived that no problem. And they got a Trevenant in the back. Hello? Zero regard for an Ice-type lead such as Dugong, but hey, that's a whole nother story. We get the attack drop. We elect to just put Basti on this to absorb all of the damage coming from this Trevenant. And it will be much nicer, of course, as we did get that very clutch attack drop with our breaking swipe. So, yeah. Normally, I would just let the moves go anyways, but it's even nicer when they have a debuffed to take a little bit of the sting off of this very high attack output from this Trevenant here. We're just going to farm it all the way down the funky town. Still healthy and tons of energy for this poor Dragonair here. Virtually helpless with our two remaining Pokemon, but they are going to try their very best, it seems. They should be exiting stage left anytime now. They no longer have a win con, but we're just going to put it out of its misery with a Stone Edge there. And down goes yet another Dragon. It feels really nice when you have this team. Good game to them. Had a lot of fun with this team. We'll see how the meta shapes up and shifts as we go into next week. But here we go. Golbat. That's a very spicy pick these days for the Great League. So shouts to them for the spice. And they safe swap at Deoxys, which is also very interesting to see. We don't get the attack drop there, and generally I don't recommend safe swapping Deoxys. I think it performs best as a lead where you have that flexibility to swap out to clear your debuffs. And we make a very unfortunate shield commitment there. Generally with Deoxys on Steelix, my experience has been them just YOLOing the Psycho Boost. So the reason why I shielded that was just to shield the first, which is obviously going to be doing more damage, but they baited actually on that first one, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. We're going to go for another breaking swipe here. Steelix, ironically, is actually the best answer to a DD, and they just cut the losses and they hold on to the shield advantage. They look to come back in with the Golbat, but little did they know, guys. We got another answer to Golbat here coming in the form of Basti. Oh, and they pivot into an Azu, so this team was a bit tricky to sort of manage here. Gonna go for the Stone Edge to chip, and then I think we're just gonna sack Poliwrath. I do want to try and catch a potential move, but no, they held on to the energy, but that's okay. We're just going to fully sack our Poliwrath. The win condition and the path to victory lies with Bastiodon. We are down a shield, and we're going to try and get some chip damage here. Resisted, but chip damage nonetheless on the Azu. They go Ice Beam. We survived that. Non-Shadow. Our rank 15 Poliwrath survives that like a champ, long enough to put the pressure on the Azu, and that is some very meaningful resisted chip damage with a clutch attack drop. Hello, let's go. And they swap to clear that debuff. So the play pattern, normal play pattern for them is the debuff and then Shadow Ball. So we played to that successfully so, as that is triple resisted, although they did tack on a debuff, and now it makes perfect sense for them to go Shadow Ball here. So we will shield that. That's going to be the hardest hitting move remaining in the game. The Azu had revealed its secrets, it revealed its moveset, so we had nothing to fear moving forward in that matchup, and they recognized that as they do top left. So that is the team, my friends. Like I said, dragons all over the place. The Great League is plagued with dragons nonstop everywhere in the Great League, so I had to bust out my old legend team, slightly modified from last season. Last season I ran Medi in the place where Poliwrath is now, but I just think Poliwrath is just the new best fighter in the meta right now. I mean, Medicham has played, but Poliwrath is just better right now with what we see in the Great League. So in comes Poliwrath for Medicham in the middle. This is an ABA style team. You can still watch my legend video with this team with Medicham to get a better idea of how to play the team. I go super deep into the ins and outs of it, but you just basically stay in. You're never swapping out. You're either going to win lead or lose lead and then look to realign with either Poliwrath or Bastiodon. That's how you play the team. If you have any additional questions, guys, you can always hop into my Discord. Absolutely free to join. Ask me anything you want. We always have a fun time. Link in the description there. And one last thing. So this team is meant to address all of the Lantern and Dragon leads, guys. If you're seeing a lot of, I would say, Poliwrath leads at your elo or a lot of Azumarill leads at your elo, this team might not be the right one for your elo range. But if you're seeing all those Lanterns, all the dragons, like what I was seeing, this team, absolutely the team for you to have a lot of satisfying alignments as well as a lot of freelo on the way up. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.